Welcome to Peter and Ruffy's Football Show. We're delighted to have your company to give you your daily fix of football Monday to Friday. The main talking points tonight: Gordon Strachan has named 2 uncapped players in his squad for the forthcoming European Championship qualifiers. Stephen Thompson, the Dundee United chairman, has defended his sacking of Jackie McNamara, and Motherwell are sifting through 70 applicants for the vacant manager's position. Just a few of the topics we'll be discussing on tonight's programme. Alan Ruff, as ever, is alongside me, and we've got a St Mirren legend in the boot room.
The Boot Room, sponsored by Third Dimension Framing.
Absolutely delighted to have Tony Fitzpatrick here with us and Jed McCabe of Inspire Sport. These two characters are getting heavily involved in making sure we get a new generation of superstars coming through, playing the game we love, football. You never know, in the next 10 or 20 years, somebody could be thanking Tony Fitzpatrick for a guy scoring goals at St Mirren, Ruffy. These things happen. We need as many initiatives as possible to get the kids out there playing football.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. The stats are out there that there isn't enough kids coming through football at school level, you know, so I think we have to get back to promoting it again. I think we all come through the school football, and it's somewhere you've got to start with.
I know it's good to get Tony involved in it. Jed, your guys get together and take kids from Scotland and give them the chance to get some valuable coaching all across Europe.
Absolutely, Peter. What we've done for the past 11 years or so as official partners of the Scottish Schools FA, we've taken not only Scottish Schools FA but all the governing bodies, England, Northern Ireland, Ireland, Wales. We've taken about 85,000 youngsters to train at some of the world's top clubs, which include Valencia, Villarreal, Real Madrid and obviously FC Porto. Yeah. The first team complex. And of course the Edinburgh kids are going to get a real chance to get valuable coaching from the Portuguese. The Portuguese, yeah, they're coming over to Edinburgh next Monday. We'll get 4 academy coaches from FC Porto, and they're going to put on a masterclass where we've invited in 30 schools and through in Edinburgh, so they're really looking forward to it. And again, from your own insight into it, what's the difference? Why did you feel a need for kids to see different coaches, different techniques? Is that the real initiative behind this? Not at all. Obviously, being Scottish, I believe that there's some fantastic coaches in Scotland. I believe, you know, we really do have fantastic. I think we're a country who bring ourselves down, and I don't think that's right. But in conjunction with the Scottish Schools FA, now the Scottish Youth Football Association (SYFA), we're just giving kids a chance of a lifetime. People get the misconception of what we offer, it's for the elitist, but our programmes are open to boys and girls of all abilities, to give them a chance to go to the clubs, be coached at the first team training complex, play matches against similar standard opposition, chance to meet the players, and then the ultimate, Peter, is to attend a top professional match. For example, FC Porto versus Sporting. It doesn't really get any better. And a few years ago I came up with the idea, we take the kids to the clubs, but why not bring the clubs to the kids? And all it's doing is giving them, they're promoting their club and their ethos and their you know, their physiology, what they do, and it's just to give the kids a wee taster, and hopefully they have such a good time when they come to Edinburgh next week, they'll want to go out to Portugal with Inspire Sport.
So do the kids just sign up at their own particular school?
Well, basically it works roughly I work with every school in Scotland, and now every boys club in Scotland through the SYFA and the Scottish Schools FA, is I'll go into the school, I'll speak to the teachers who run the football teams and let them know what we do, because you're looking a year to 18 months planning. Yeah. They'll say, for example, they'll say, I like the sound of taking my kid to Valencia or Villarreal or FC Porto. They would then take that to the kids, say who's interested in coming along, and then what we do is we invite the parents and guardians in for a no obligation presentation. So they'll say you're looking, it gives the kids something to aim for, something to look forward to. Yeah, absolutely. Although when you mentioned there, you know, does it get any better than Sporting against Porto? I mean, St Mirren against Morton, Tony Fitzpatrick. You know, Jed needs to have a long hard look at himself. You know? Really right, hands up. Who wants to go to Greener?
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, because that's the best game in the world.
I was just about to say it. Right? Counting them in and counting them out. Yes. Magnificent. No, I mean, listen, we would have died for that initiative years ago.
You know, and I've sort of experienced it, I'm saying Inspire Sport, but I've watched the way they work, and but as you say, I remember all around about the same age groups, and when you think when you were a kid, getting an opportunity maybe to go to Barcelona or Real Madrid or one of these teams. It's an incredible, especially for, and as Jed said, it's not just the sort of elitists, but somebody who is aspiring. What an opportunity to go and be coached with someone. And like Jed says, we've got great coaches here, but there is different style of coaching, there's different ways. And I think to become a top player, you've got to sort of look at every aspect to be that player.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, we'll talk more about that. We're also going to talk a wee bit about your book as well, since Ruffy, we were there at the start when he eventually picks up the big Booker Prize. That's all I'm saying, Ruffy. We'll be there with him on that excursion. Listen, Scotland squad, Ruffy, 2 uncapped players in there. Kevin McDonald of Wolves, I don't know if you watched it the weekend. I mean, he scored an absolute raker for them from about 25 yards. He's been, you know, a really, really good midfielder, but somebody that's attracted Gordon Strachan's attention, and of course the obvious one, Graham Shinnie.
Yeah, I think the two of them have been picked basically because they're forming at their club. There's no doubt about that. I don't think for a minute either the two of them will start the game, but it'll be an experience for them to be there for the 2 games that are coming up, and who's to say they won't be players for the future?
Yeah, well, Gordon Strachan was unveiling the squad. It's 2 massive games, of course. Poland, the key one, away to Gibraltar. I think the general feeling is that we will take all 3 points from that one. So the Scotland manager, I think, accepts this is a must-win game against Poland.
We don't have a world-class player, but we have a great bunch of lads who, between them, as you can see with the goals, we have to work at everything. There's not been many individual flashes where somebody beats 2 people, but it's been worked at everything we've had to work at. So we know that we'll have to work as a group. I don't work on percentages, but I agree with you. I think we need to win it. But if we don't, stranger things have happened.
Surprised he's talking, of course, about Lewandowski. I mean, we've been just hoping they could pick up a hamstring injury, Ruffy, just anything that slows him down, but he is the danger man, and he's on red hot form. He got another couple at the weekend.
Yeah, he is, and obviously it's a worry in the game. There's no doubt about it. He can be out of the game for so long and then come in with a couple or possibly 3, so we'll have to have a plan there, there's no doubt about it. But I think it's all about us. No, I think we have to show, Gordon and the players have already showed that we're very organised and very difficult to beat. Now we have to show a side that we can open up sides, we can score goals. We need to score more than 1 goal to take the pressure off us.
I don't think, Tony, we will argue with Ruffy on the fact of Graham Shinnie or indeed Kevin McDonald coming in. They'll know they'll be part of a squad in case there's a catastrophe. Even Jordan Rhodes' reintroduction into the overall squad, I still think Gordon has in his mind the set 11 that he's going to start with. Yeah,
he'll know his team, there's no doubt about that. But it's great to be involved in that, the boys Shinnie coming in there and McDonald and bringing Rhodes back. I think the sort of type of game it is a must-win game, to be honest. So it's just bringing them into that sort of atmosphere and being in with the squad, because no doubt the boys Shinnie especially, I've watched over the years, he's deserved a cap, hasn't he? You know, the way he deserves to be back in. He's a real top player, and no, I think it's a great thing what Gordon's doing as well, introducing uncapped players into that situation. Yeah, and of course Gordon Strachan himself, what does the future hold for him? Is now the time to give him you know, a little bit of comfort knowing that he's got another contract with Scotland? He doesn't seem too concerned with it at the moment.
I love football. I love what I'm doing just now, that's for sure. But as I say, we'll talk about when we'll finish this campaign, and hopefully it's got another few months to run yet.
He doesn't seem too worried about it. I mean, he's in a perfect situation. It's not as if he needs the money. His driving ambition is the pride in managing Scotland, Ruffy. And I think he's been fairly sensible about it. Let's see how this whole campaign pans out. Yeah,
I don't think this is the time to be talking about contracts. There's 2 big games coming up after that's finished and the dust settled. Then sit down and talk about it. I just really hope that if things don't turn out the way we want it and we don't qualify, that he doesn't fall on his sword. He's quite a proud guy. You know, he might see that as a failure. It certainly wouldn't be a failure as far as I'm concerned. We'll be disappointed, but I think we can build on it and take it on to the next competition. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, I'm going to let you 3 guys put your neck on the line briefly. Are we going to beat Poland, Ruffy? No. You put me on a real downer. No, I think we're going to draw. I think we're going to draw, and we're going to beat Gibraltar, and we're going to go to the playoffs.
Okay, there you are. Every cloud has a silver lining. Jed, will we win? Yes or no?
My guts say yes. I think gut feeling says I think we're due a win. I think we will. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with Jed. I think when it comes down to it, I just get a feeling that Scotland will do it.
Yeah. Oh, well, there you are. Two optimistic panellists in Ruffy. You never know. A wee bit of negativity in there, but fingers crossed that we do indeed get the result. Okay, coming up in the next part of the programme, we're going to talk about Tony's old club St Mirren. We will talk Europa League and Champions League football, as well as the vacancies for managers' jobs.
Hi, I'm Chris Sutton. To win this beautiful signed shirt from me, which club did Celtic sign me from?
Hi, I'm Craig Turnbull, and don't forget you can watch the PLZ Soccer news headlines Monday to Friday by clicking on the link below.
Welcome back to Peter and Ruffy's Football Show. Delighted to give you your daily fix Monday to Friday. In the first part of the programme, we've been talking about the opportunity for young kids to play football and get coached by coaches, and very good coaches at that, from all across Europe. In the second part of the programme, we'll continue that theme. We'll talk to our boot room guest, who happens to be a St Mirren legend.
The Boot Room, sponsored by Third Dimension Framing.
Tony Fitzpatrick is in the studio with us alongside Inspire Sports' Jed McCabe. They've been out and about giving kids the opportunity, not only in the west of Scotland, but there's a cracking one coming up in the east of Scotland in Edinburgh for so many kids to get coached by Porto coaches, no less. And we've been talking about that in the first part of the programme. We'll also discuss in the second part Tony Fitzpatrick, not only a legend, but an author as well. And his book has been certainly gaining rave reviews among kids up and down the country since we mentioned it, Ruffy. It seems like years ago we mentioned that book.
It certainly does. I think it'll be Edinburgh Festival next year. The book
absolutely.
It'll be stardom. You know, well, I don't think I have to leave his tickets to go. I think.
Ruffy, once he puts the hair gel in, the game's up. That's it, over. Listen, let's talk to you guys about something serious. And he's been defending himself today. The Dundee United chairman, Stephen Thompson, he mentioned the fact that the results were there, he had to go, and he, I think, sidestepped the issue, Ruffy, by saying the letter was handed over. Basically, the confirmation of his sacking was Monday morning and not right after the game. But certainly Jackie McNamara's dad has laid into the Dundee United chairman today. Yeah,
and quite rightly so. If you're going to sack somebody, you should do it with dignity, and I don't think it was handled particularly well. There's a lot of emotions after any particular football game, and there certainly would have been at the weekend. I don't think that was the right time to do it. They could have waited a couple of days and then done it very amicably, but they never, and it's a sour taste, and obviously the McNamara household, and quite rightly so. Yeah,
and again, Ruffy, when you look back over the record of Jackie, was reading everything today, the cup finals, the money that's been made in transfers. We've already discussed on yesterday's programme the skullduggery that went on behind the scenes to suddenly enlighten everyone of his contract and the situation with the transfers, which I think was another item that left a sour taste in everyone's mouth. But I think he could have waited and said, okay, this is a tough time, stick with it, and give him at least another couple of games, in my mind. I don't know how you feel. Yeah, well,
it's a well-known fact that Jackie McNamara was touted as the best young manager we've had up and coming throughout the years, and particularly his first 2 years at Dundee United. You've already talked about the success that he had, and it was a downhill spiral when they sold all the good players. Yeah. That is a basic fact, that Dundee United were a top 3 club until they decided to start taking money for their best players, and any manager would struggle, with that thrown in front of them. And sometimes when you're an owner, you have to take a step back and look at the circumstances, but obviously he didn't.
Okay, let's look now to the future of it. Who's getting the job? Stephen Presley, no. Paul Lambert, no. Jim McIntyre and Tommy Wright have distanced themselves from it as well. You have Mixu Patalainen, Stuart McCall, John Yogi Hughes, I'll throw in there. There's even been the suggestion of Steve Evans, who's just been sacked from his job down south. I think it's got to be somebody out of contract, Ruffy.
Yeah, it looks that way. It looks that way. You know, you talk a lot of money to spend on a manager that's at a club, and there's the guys that you've mentioned there are all doing very, very well at their clubs. You know, it's not as if they're going through a bad spell. They're all taking their clubs up the league. So, yeah, I think I'd be really interested to see these 70 names that are in the hat and see which ones you could handpick yourself. But certainly some of the guys that you've mentioned who are out of a job would jump at it in a minute. It's a wonderful club to be at.
Yeah, I don't think Dundee United will be short of a few names. I mentioned 70 applicants for the Motherwell job. I think you might find Stephen Thompson, certainly Tony, will find that sort of number interested in that job at Tannadice.
Yeah, there's always people interested in the job, but it's sadness what's happened there. I can't believe what's happened to Jackie McNamara. But in saying that, I'd love to throw a couple of names in when I look at about Danny Lennon, who has done so well at St Mirren and never really gets mentioned. Won a cup, and he's doing well at Alloa, kept him up. And you've got Billy Stark. I know he's doing stuff at Albion Rovers just now, but two great up-and-coming managers. No, under 21 level, both of them have taken that team and did really well with it.
Yeah.
I know there's so many you could mention, but always amazes me when all the same names keep popping up. You forget some of the managers just a year or two ago done so well and they're out the game now.
Well, that's a good point, Ruffy, because quite simply when you look at the managers that Tony's mentioned there, you know, there's been a period where people were looking at younger managers, and these guys have got a track record, got a bit of experience. I think it might need something like that at United at the moment. It certainly doesn't need somebody who can get in there as a rookie.
No, well, I think Jackie, Alan Archibald and the likes, you know, went down that road. The clubs went down that road, identifying young managers who were on the up, and they might look at it another way. They might look at somebody who's got a CV of experience. Obviously, Fitzpatrick's got it as well. They'll look at the clubs he's went to and he's stabilised them, played good football. But again, Mr Thompson did commit himself in what kind of manager he's looking at.
Yeah, okay, we'll wait to see who's going to get the United job. I think the general feeling at the moment is Stephen Craigan's got one victory. If he gets another one, you know, the fickle world of football, after 2 wins, Ruffy, you could suddenly get the job.
Yeah, I don't agree with that at all. I don't, you know, because the fixture list could be very favourable to you. I think if they really fancy Stephen, they should give him it, not based on the next 2 or 3 games, whatever points he picks up, because he's doing a lot of things behind the scenes, and these things should be identified, and that's how he should get the job, not on the results.
European football this week. Celtic have got a tough one at home against Fenerbahce. I love the talk of unrest with Dutch players. Tony, you'll know this from your days. Dutch players fall out with everybody. Who cares if the manager doesn't like Robin van Persie? If he scores goals, game over.
No, exactly. And as I say, I think it's going to be a tough one for Celtic. But you hear this all before the games have fallen out and whatever. But listen, Celtic, after the result they had in Ajax, should fear nobody. And I think, as I say, I fancy them to beat Fenerbahce. Are
you as confident, Ruffy, or are you going to try and throw a spanner in the works here?
No, I think it was encouraging, although it was nothing each at the weekend there. 24 shots on goal, you know, is a good stat to look at, and all you need to do is get a couple of them to hit the back of the net. So it'd be interesting team selection, but I think certainly at home, I think the supporters will be up for it, and I think they'll get a home win as well.
Yeah, okay, there's a couple of Champions League games I want to get your thoughts on before we talk about the book with Jed and Tony, and that's Porto against Chelsea. Jed's already mentioned the Porto coaches. Obviously they'll watch the game and then fly over here, maybe impart some of their knowledge, especially if Porto get one over on their old boss, Jose Mourinho.
Yeah, unfortunately I think Mourinho has the knack in Champions League football to get whatever he's after away from home. He's notorious. If he wants a draw, he'll get a draw. It's the kind of players he's got. He's got world-class players there, and if he sets his stall out for a draw, I think he'll get it.
Yeah, you're talking about pressure, Tony. Tony, Arsenal Olympiacos. If he loses this one, he's goosed.
Yeah, it's a very difficult game as well, isn't it? But just again, I've watched Arsenal recently, and I think with Sanchez coming back in the team, and it's looking good again. They're looking really good, and I quite fancy them actually to win.
Okay, that's good enough for me. If Tony says it, the money's on. Listen, Jed, just before we finish, of course, you mentioned the fact that you're out there to inspire kids getting football, getting coached, and of course we've been talking about Tony's book, Baba Coochie Bear, which I think from a kid's perspective is absolutely magnificent. You guys are going to push this along with the coaching that you're doing.
Absolutely, Peter. You know, I've known Tony for many years, and he's put an awful lot of work into Baba Coochie Bear. I think it's a fantastic thing for kids, not only for kids. People get the misconception again, Tony, I think you'll agree, that it's for kids, but it's for families. It's for everybody, for parents to read to their kids, for kids to read to their younger siblings, and it's a good feel story, and that's why, you know, Inspire Sport endorse it. And then, you know, when kids go on Inspire Sport tour, they'll get a Baba Coochie Bear book signed by Tony.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. You can go into inspire.com and find out about this, especially for Edinburgh. There it is there. You can get onto it, inspiresport.com. Good luck with that, and good luck to anyone who's involved in the coaching in Edinburgh with the Porto coaches. And of course, Ruffy and myself have already got one of the Baba Coochie Bear books signed by Tony, and what a few quid we earned by selling that on eBay, Ruffy. I'll tell you, see that Tony Fitzpatrick signature? It's magnificent, honestly. The Saints fans just lap it up. I'm kidding. It's well worth the read. It's absolutely fantastic and inspirational for kids as well. Listen, delight to have Jed McCabe coming on the programme to talk about the coaching for all the kids. And as ever, we love having Tony Fitzpatrick on this programme talking football. From Ruffy and myself, join us tomorrow if you can.